I was so done with being the goody two shoes, and his attention, though sometimes creepy and pushy, kind of pulled me in. But the third time we met, I let things go further, way further than I expected. And I even returned the favor. He knew how to give it, and I knew how to take it. I was sure I'd end up with some kind of infection, but I didn't. And then I started craving him, like I couldn't get enough. Then one night I went looking for him, ready to take things even further, but he was gone. A few days later, my friends and I saw him outside a McDonald's, and he bolted, yelling at me to leave him alone. He said I was obsessed, practically stalking him. I was so embarrassed, but also hurt at his treatment of me. It hit me hard, Robin. I was really wrapped up in the wild, messed up thrill of it all. I decided to get some counseling to sort myself out, but deep down there's still a part of me that thinks about him, that strange pull I couldn't quite shake. The way he smelled of old tires and Dijon mustard. There's nothing that I have for this. I hope that the counseling helped.
So basically, this lady, and shout out to her, I will try to find her name, but she does these things where they're called unhinged confessions, and I think she's reading from somebody who wrote in, I guess, and saying that she basically fell for a homeless man. She didn't like his smell; it was bad, but I guess she got used to it. But he piped her down real good, and then she became obsessed with him. She became attached to him, so she started stalking him and following him. She wanted to create something with him because of that. Even though everything else was not quite there, that was drawing her closer and closer to the man, to the homeless man, to even the man. The homeless man was running from her, baby. And I'm gonna make a point here, but the homeless man was running from her. He wanted nothing to do with her, because she was becoming obsessed, because he put it on her real good. That's just really what it is. And she lost her mind, and so she was probably would have took care of him, probably was trying to put him in a house and do all that, and he just didn't want that. That's the moral of this story. But let's finish the last part of it. Let's continue.
We've all been with somebody we have no business being with, and sometimes the wrong of it all will make it feel really right, Yo, I can't imagine being curved by somebody who doesn't even have a home. That's wild.
Right.
Sorry that happened to you, friend.
Right. So somebody apparently wrote in and told that story, which, it speaks to a bigger point. But the thing about it is, it just shows you, listen, when we hear a lot of women talking about all these, and y'all know I talk about it all the time, all these unrealistic expectations about a man need to be 6 feet tall. Y'all know it. He gotta make 6 figures. He gotta have this. He gotta have that, right? He gotta have all of these things. But I say it all the time, and I partly because I am a woman and I know the nature of a lot of women. And we all don't think the same, but we all pretty much, you know how women think for the most part. And so when you're saying, oh, these men need, when the majority, and listen, I'm not speaking to all women, because I know a lot of good women who don't act this way or think this way. It's not everybody, but we know who it is. We know who it is. And you know who you are. Okay? So take it or leave it. But what I'm saying is, a lot of women like to complain and talk about how men need to level up and they need to have this, and the women, they have standards, and you need to measure up to my level and all this kind of stuff. But the part they don't like is when men ask, okay, so did your baby daddy make 6 figures? You know what I mean? Did all your baby daddies make 6 figures? And a lot of them didn't. And you could see the look on their faces like, how dare you go there? How dare you ask me such a question about myself and my baby daddies? Like, no, y'all, look, there was a new Pop the Balloon, and I saw a clip of it where the lady asked the men on that show how much they made a year, but then she said, how much you make annually per year? She said, and they was joking about that too, that she said annual, and then she said per year. like it was separate. You know, she did, you know, she was just, so they was making fun of her for that. But she asking them, that's very personal to, you know, to men or to anybody, to put your finances on blast like that in front of it. People don't do that. Everybody ain't willing to put all their information out there. Like, you shouldn't do that, honestly. You know, you should not be putting your financial status all over. So why would you do that? And they don't get asked. So, but when you ask them some questions about them, their lives, their personal life, their past life, their baby daddies and all of this, they get offended. Well, no, he didn't make that, but you know, that's why I'm looking for it now, because I refuse to settle, because I settled already. You settled. Not only did you settle, you gave him a baby. You risk your life for a man that you say is no good. Because you know, every time, if you just sit here and watch a lot of the Kendra G shows and other shows and just social media in general, you see a bunch of women talking about, oh, the baby daddy is a deadbeat. Or why don't you get back with your baby daddy? Oh, hell no, I could never. Why you could never? You got a whole child with him. You could never get back with him, but you was with him and gave him a baby on top of that. So why was he so, he was good enough for you to give a child to, but not good enough for you to stay with and raise your child with him. So he was good at some point. What happened? And this is when they start all that lying. Oh my God. He was so great in the beginning. In the last 10 years, the last year, after the 10th year that I was with him, oh my God, he turned bad. Oh my God, he started acting a fool. He became abusive, and he was a narcissist, and he was this. He was controlling. I had to go. I had to fight for my life, you know? It just doesn't make sense. And not only that, so that one you didn't learn. You had another one who was abusive and in jail, in and out, and knock your head in between the washer and the dryer, and then you rewarded him by giving him a child. Oh my God! And then it goes on and on and on. It never stops. It never stops. I said this before. Listen, if you truly made a mistake, listen. We are human, baby. We're all human. We all, you know, bleed the same. We all, you know, you cut us, we bleed. But I'm just saying, like, so I'm not above anything. I'm just like I'm more realistic about life and things that happen. So I understand that people make mistakes. I say it all the time. You can make a mistake, but dude, the key to that is learning from your mistakes. That's how I see it. That's just my thoughts. Learning from your mistakes. You can make mistakes. We all make mistakes. You may make more than one mistake. We're human beings, but you're supposed to learn so you don't keep repeating it, because it's not going to benefit you by keep making that same mistake over and over. You're just setting yourself back. So I'm not telling you this to sound like I'm, you know, putting you down, because that's the first thing they like to say. Oh, you bashing women. No, if bashing women and putting them down is being honest with them, telling the truth, baby, I don't know what else to tell you. You're going to have to find a new word, because that's not bashing. That means you don't want to grow. You don't want to learn. If I'm telling you something that can help benefit you, why won't you listen? And you don't have to listen. It's up to you. But if you want to keep complaining, it's like a lot of times people want to keep complaining. Y'all ever realize that? You ever had a friend that she keep doing, or whoever, keep doing something that and then you keep, that's like having a fat friend, right? It's like having a fat friend. I mean, an grossly fat friend for 300 pounds, for 400 pounds, just 600 pound life. Hell, take it there. You got a 600 pound fat friend for life. Nice person, or he or she, whoever. Nice person, great personality, loving, give you your shirt off their back if you could fit it. But they so big, they can't get out the bed. And you've been telling this person for years, come on, let's go walk. Let's go take a walk. Let's try to do something before you get too bad. Then they didn't listen. But every time you talk to them, oh my God, I'm so tired of living like this. My back hurt. And I know they say food is an addiction. I get it. But when are you going to get tired? When you going to get so tired that you get up and do something? You know what I mean? Like, when you're so tired of your situation, it forces you to have to do something. You would think before people get bedridden, they would say, oh, this is enough. Sometimes it takes other circumstances to force you into change. But at what point does it stop? At what point do you get tired of telling them, hey, you can change this around, you can do this, before it gets so bad? Then they get to a point, and every time you talk, they crying and complaining. After a while, what you gonna say? Well, damn, I told you. At least I would. I've been telling you for years, stop doing this. Come on, let me help you. Let's do this, or let's go try to get you some help, and you don't want to do it. and you don't, I don't want to do that. This is too this and this, to make excuses for it. And then when you so big and so out of commission, now you still crying and complaining and keep complaining, but you don't want to do anything about it. Well, that's the modern society of Bonnie Crew sisterhood, the sisterhood traveling pants, the Bonnie Crew. I'm gonna call it the Bonnie Crew society of the traveling sisterhood pants. They don't want to listen to anything. You want to do what you want to do, and you think that there aren't any consequences associated with what you're doing. There are always consequences, no matter which way you choose to go. If you chose to go left, choose to go left, choose to go right, there's a consequence associated with your choice. Now, if it so happens that you keep choosing poorly, then you're going to get poor results. And you can't get mad at other people who choose to do things a different way that yields them a better result. You can't then turn around and ask them to turn around and settle for you, a person who's only chosen poor results your whole entire life. Oh my God. And that's how I equate the sisterhood Bonnie Crew society of the traveling pants to, that's how I look at it. You're out here and you've made all these poor choices. A lot of them have been teen mothers. A lot of them just keep making baby after baby with different men, 4 or 5 baby daddies, right? And you haven't learned from the first one. And I was going to say, listen, I can give grace. You go out and you had a boyfriend or man or whatever, y'all had a relationship, and then y'all had a baby or whatever you want. You know, everybody don't believe in deleting babies. So you have your child. The children are the blessing of it. The children are innocent. They make no decisions whatsoever. So they didn't choose to come here. So the children are a blessing to me. You had that child and you realize, oh, the person that you thought was going to be there for you and with you ran off for whatever reason, or wasn't ready for it. It wasn't ready for you or whatever. And both of y'all were reckless or whatever. And he was like, deuces, I'm out. I don't really want this. I got other stuff out. You know, and you did the best that you could and all that. And you got the child and you taking care of this child by yourself. And you see how difficult it is. And you realize, I don't want to do this. Is too much. And then you realize that was enough for you to say, you know what? I'm closing my legs. I'm not opening my legs to Tom, Dick, and Harry, Ronnie, Bobby, Rick, and Mike anymore. Pookie and Ray, Steven and Tyler and Tom Petty. I'm not doing it. So once you realize that's enough, you raise your child, you do the best and build yourself back up and get to a place. And you don't do that again, but you find a man, if you're fortunate enough to find a man who's willing to be with you with that child and build you up, and y'all get married, and build your family together. You come together and you have a family. I could see that. But if you're not trying to do that, you didn't learn anything from, or whatever it is, just don't repeat that cycle. Don't keep making more and more and more babies out of wedlock, or just raising and then complaining about how hard it is and the struggle is real and you're tired, but you keep doing it. You keep finding a way to open your legs to Pookie and Ray and thinking that you're gonna get a different result. It's insanity. That's the definition of that. And then you go out here and say you don't need them and your child don't need them, but then y'all complain about when the child start acting up. And now you like, oh, it's still the man's fault, but it's your fault too. Because as women, you don't know how to raise men. You're not a man. I'm not a man. I don't know what it is to be a man. So how could I raise one? Those children need fathers. That's all I'm saying. They need fathers. And so I think we need to promote that and push that more so that these people can stop pushing this narrative or society. Because I mean, it's like, it doesn't seem to really promote the nuclear family, especially in the Black community. Let's say that. Let's make it clear. Especially in the Black community, it's not promoted. Oh, I'm single. I do by my, and it seems like that's being perpetuated and promoted in society. That agenda of, oh, I can do it all by myself seems to be magnified and seems to be something that's perpetuated and made to be like something great when it's really not. Anyway, I don't know how I got that far into that, but it's just crazy.